Hey, it's Ethan over here at Let's Talk Fiction, and welcome to an episode of Let's Talk Fiction. I will be doing a Minecraft long play and talking about villains, because I think villains are incredibly interesting, and there's a lot of different things you can do with your villains to make them more interesting. Um, First, you gotta punch this tree. There's iron over there already. How lovely. Okay, so villains. I did not think through how I was going to start this. Okay, so with villains... I can make a boat now. Okay, so... some of my favorite villains come from the Resident Evil franchise. I'm mostly going to be talking about video game villains right now. But some of my favorite villains come from the Resident Evil franchise, because I think that they do their villains really well. I could talk about Heisenberg. I could talk about Heisenberg. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay, so... first of all, I wanted to talk about... William Birkin from Resident Evil 2. He is a very interesting character, in my opinion. I'm right next to the ocean. Am I on an island? Ooh, that's atrocious. We may have to go find somewhere else. But there's spruce wood. Okay, so William Birkin injected... this is all going to contain spoilers for every game I talk about. And I plan on talking about Until Dawn, At Dead of Night, and the Resident Evil franchise. For now. There may be more that I think of. But I haven't played a ton of video games like that, so... that may be it. But anyway. William Birkin injected himself with the G virus. He knew what he was doing. And so he basically created himself. He and Annette worked together to create the G virus, and then he injected himself with the G virus, and she was like, "What have you done?" And I don't have video evidence for these right now, but I do plan on doing that one day. Anyway. So, one thing that I find interesting that the Resident Evil franchise has done twice now is that they have done like a family dynamic with the villain. Like, Dr. Birkin had Sherry, his daughter, and the Bakers in Resident Evil 7. I thought it was really interesting how they've created villains that are monsters. Like, there's no humanity left in them. I've talked about this on my TikTok before. Like, there's no humanity left in Dr. Birkin. There's no humanity left in Jack Baker by the end of Resident Evil 7. And yet they're still doing everything they can to protect their children. Like, Dr. Birkin literally rips Mr. X in half because he's threatening Sherry, which was very cool when that happened, because Mr. X is terrifying. But, yeah, like, he's still doing everything he can to protect Sherry, even though there is no humanity left in him. And then in Resident Evil 7, specifically the End of Zoe DLC, we get Jack Baker again, and there's kind of a hint that he's still alive in the main game. When you get to the hive mind scene, they're all still alive. Like, Zoe's still alive, and Jack is still alive, but you don't see Lucas, but Lucas is still alive at that point too. You don't see Lucas, you don't see Marguerite. Oh, my axe broke. Yeah. But, at the End of Zoe DLC, Jack Baker has turned into basically a swamp man. And he's fighting Joe Baker, his brother, his own brother, to get the cure for Zoe, because you can hear him say, "Give it to me," when Joe has the cure. You can hear Jack say, "Give it to me." We don't know it's Jack yet at that point. But, I thought that was really cool. I need to turn off my trackpad. I thought that was very cool when that happened. And this leads me into my next point about sympathetic versus unsympathetic villains. Because I think that is a very fun topic. It's dark. So with sympathetic versus unsympathetic villains, it's very easy. It's not very easy, I'm not going to say that. But like with sympathetic versus unsympathetic villains, you want your reader, you want your audience to empathize with your villains. You want them to see, sometimes, it's not all the time, but sometimes you want your readers to empathize with your villains. You want them to see that part of themselves they're not willing to admit is there. Like, for example, Jack Baker. When we get the hive mind scene, that scene breaks my heart every time I see it. There's nothing down here. Where's my crafting table? That scene breaks my heart every time I see it. And Ethan even says in the end, like, Mia and I weren't the only victims here. So are the Bakers. So he acknowledges that this is hard to play and talk at the same time. He acknowledges that the Bakers did not really have a say in what they did. It was all Evelyn's fault. And if it hadn't been for Evelyn, the Bakers would have just been the nice, happy family we saw in the Daughters DLC. So the Bakers are portrayed as sympathetic villains. You're supposed to feel bad for them. And there are several sympathetic villains in video games, which I think is very interesting and very cool. How many times am I going to say interesting? Let's find out. Let me some more torches. But, like, this is difficult. Bear with me, guys. Another sympathetic villain is Josh from Until Dawn. Our sympathetic antagonist. He's not necessarily a villain per se, but he is the antagonist. He's the first antagonist we run across. So, ooh, a cave. We're going. Yikes. We are in peaceful mode because I am Little Bitch Baby. And I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I don't want to fight anything while I'm just trying to build in peace. But anyway, Josh from Until Dawn. He's the first antagonist we run across in Until Dawn. And he sets up everything to terrorize his friends, to get back at them for the loss of his sisters. But that's not necessarily what makes Josh the sympathetic villain I'm talking about. Josh has untreated schizophrenia. And that's what's designed to make him sympathetic. If that's the way... And not to say that mental illness is an excuse for bad behavior. There are plenty of people with untreated schizophrenia who would not do that sort of thing to their friends. But you see it in the scene with the big hallucinations, with the pig head and Beth and Hannah. Josh is just freaking out. And he has every right to. I hallucinate. Little known fact about me is I hallucinate. And it's terrifying. I don't know what... I don't have schizophrenia, but I don't know what's going on in my little brain. Oh, my pickaxe broke. Let's make an iron pickaxe. So this gives me some time to talk. So Josh is... he is a sympathetic antagonist, in my opinion. Again, that scene with the hallucinations and him screaming like, you can't control me anymore, you can't tell me what to do, it breaks my heart. It really does. And I wish I had made notes. I didn't make any notes. I was like, I'm just going to go in and talk. But and iron pickaxe. That's really all I have to say about Josh. Because... and his friends are rightfully angry at him. And his mental state is just gone by the time it's revealed that Josh is the killer. Or the psychopath or whatever. His mind is just gone. Like, he has he's just slowly losing it throughout the game. And it breaks my heart, it really does. Anyway, one of the most interesting villains I have encountered, one of the most interesting antagonists I've encountered in a long time, is Jimmy Hall from At Dead of Night. I think that game is incredibly... There I go saying interesting again, but I think that game is incredibly interesting for so many reasons. There's so much to talk about there, and I don't really want to talk about all of it right now. I do plan on doing like a full in-depth analysis of that game. Just like story analysis. Not going to do like a MatPat theory video or anything. But just... Ooh, redstone. Just an in-depth analysis of what makes that game so cool, in my opinion. Because I really think that game is one of the most interesting games that has come out in a very long time. There was a little bit of controversy with it, I will say, regarding Jimmy having dissociative identity disorder, because that's a played out trope. There's stuff down there. Let me go get my other stuff. That's a played out horror trope. It's not, and it's harmful to people who actually have dissociative identity disorder. But the developers came out and said Jimmy does not have dissociative identity disorder. He's just struggling on a moral level or something. Which I'm like, okay, you're just covering your ass at that point. But because to someone who doesn't know what DID is and someone who doesn't know what DID looks like, it very much looks like DID. And I don't have DID. I do know someone who does, actually. But, it's just, you really have to be careful when creating your villains to make sure that you don't use harmful tropes. But, that being said, I still think Jimmy is one of the most interesting villains I've encountered in a long time. He's struggling to deal with the abuse from his father. Okay, I should preface. This next part of the video, I'm going to include some trigger warnings here. This next part of the video is going to include talks of abuse, child abuse specifically, because Jimmy was abused as a child, which is kind of what made him who he is. So, I'm going to be talking about it. If that makes you uncomfortable, you're welcome to leave. And I wouldn't blame you, because it's not a very comfortable conversation topic. But, anyway. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Anyway. Jimmy was abused by his father, Hugo. For the first 2 years of his life, I think. I just rewatched it, I should know this. For the first 2 years of his life. And that basically implanted Hugo. Ooh, That's what I was hoping for. But that basically implanted Hugo into his brain. Hugo, there might be some sort of, like, possession going on or something. But Hugo... Oh, is it just the one? That sucks. Hugo put himself into Jimmy's life for good by abusing him, possessing him, possibly. Excuse me. I think possession would be cool. The ending is a little ambiguous, which some people like, some people don't. I thought the ending was a little confusing, but that's just me. There's just lava down there. But Jimmy is also a sympathetic antagonist. Because he doesn't really want to do the things that Hugo is making him do. And we see that a couple of times. We see that in the wake-up sequence, when you get knocked out by Jimmy. He's like, why are you making me do these things? And it's like, what do you mean? And in the end sequence, you can see Jimmy and Hugo. Is that more diamonds? Hey, yo! I would have walked right past these. But, they're kind of like split in the hallway. You can see Jimmy crying in a corner, like, stop making me do these things. And Hugo's like, no, I'm in charge. Evil. Bleh. And, yeah. Ow. Ow. But Jimmy still did a lot of bad things. Just because a villain is sympathetic does not excuse their behavior. I want to make that clear as well. Like, the reasons I'm talking about the villain being sympathetic, the villain being somebody that you can sympathize with, that you can say, hey, that's pretty messed up what you went through. That doesn't change the fact that they still did a bunch of bad stuff. It doesn't change the fact that Josh still tormented his friends. It doesn't change the fact that Jimmy still chased a college student around with a baseball bat and abducted all of her friends. Like, that doesn't change that. Talking about... Because, like, antagonists are really cool. If a game does not have a good antagonist, it's probably not going to be very good. Unless it's one of those games that's not designed to have an antagonist, kind of like Minecraft or like Stardew Valley or something. The antagonist of Stardew Valley is unsympathetic. You know what? We could talk about that. The antagonist of Stardew Valley is Joja Mart, Morris, that whole corporation. And they are unsympathetic, and they're supposed to be. I want out. How do I get out? But yeah, they are unsympathetic, and they are supposed to be. They are a depiction of capitalism. And how capitalism destroys small town economies. All that jazz. Morris is a asshole. Like, there's just no way around it. Glow squids. I might just drown. I have keep inventory on, so... Like I said, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Let's just see what's down here. Nothing. This is a good spot to drown. So, I know this will probably make some of you anxious. I'm sorry. I have keep inventory on, I promise. I'm back. Okay. But Joja Mart is not... You're not supposed to empathize with Joja Mart. And I'm doing a Joja run right now, and I don't like it. It does not spark joy. Let's go this way. Let's see what's out here. But yeah, so there are unsympathetic villains. I think the villain I talked about on TikTok was Jim Moriarty. Because I have a TikTok where I do this sometimes. Yes, I do still have my diamonds. I was like, wait a minute. Ooh, a savannah. But, yeah. Let's get some acacia wood. Ooh, big hole. Yeah, I want to do, like, a whole analysis of the game at dead of night where I play it and I have video evidence. And just because that game is so interesting to me. And I want to do a proper analysis of Jimmy. Not just me talking about stuff like I'm doing right now. I will say, one cool thing about Jimmy that I noticed one of the times I rewatched it, because I've rewatched it several times at this point. I have played it as well, but I've never finished it. I've just watched playthroughs of it. But the one thing I noticed that I thought was really cool was, spoilers again, Rose, Jimmy's mother, killed Hugo with a baseball bat in front of Jimmy when he was 2 years old. She killed him with a baseball bat. Jimmy uses a baseball bat to attack Maya. So I just thought that was cool. I thought that was a neat little... I see a shipwreck over there. I thought that was a neat little detail. Oh no, that's a portal. I thought it was a shipwreck. Now what is this? Oh, this is probably archaeology stuff. Oh, there's a chest, though. Treasure map. I'm gonna drown. Yeah. Let's see if there's anything else. Ooh, another chest. I'll take it. Yeah, I don't have an archaeology brush, so I can't, like, brush out any suspicious sand or whatever. But there's another chest. Another buried treasure map. Ouch, ouch. Cool. What else can I talk about when it comes to villains and antagonists? I can ask a question. Who are some of your favorite video game antagonists? Like I said, one of mine... Excuse me. It's the same map. Okay. Like I said, one of mine is Jimmy Hall. I really like the Bakers from Resident Evil 7. Heisenberg! I was going to talk about Heisenberg. Heisenberg is my favorite villain from Resident Evil 8. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I think Heisenberg is a very interesting villain. because all he wants is revenge. He's not even really like an antagonist. Well, he is, but until Ethan is like, "Hey, I don't want to work with you. I think you're weird." And so then he's like, "All right, well, fuck you too, I guess," and um, sends Ethan on his merry way. Ooh, dark oak. I love dark oak. Oh, and the treasure's over here. How lovely. I should build a shovel. It's like right here. But all Heisenberg wants is revenge for his life, his childhood. That part's not really clear to me. It seems like he wants revenge for his childhood, but like the details that we find about him say he's like an adult when Miranda finds him, which is weird to me. Did I miss it? It would be in the sand, right? But if anybody wants to clarify what Heisenberg wants revenge for, that would be epic. Is it in the dirt? It shouldn't be. I thought they were only in sand. Oh, there it is. Emeralds, lovely. I'll take the gold. I'll take the heart of the sea. I have a leather tunic. Alright. We found buried treasure. How neat. Okay, so back to Heisenberg. I love Neil Newborn, just in general. Like, I love the way he acts. And he supports the trans community, which is pretty cool. I hear you. He thinks it's cool that, like, trans men and women latch onto his characters, like Astarion, like Heisenberg. So, yeah. I think Neil Newborn's pretty cool. I don't know how many... Probably Gavin, too, and Kamsky. We could talk about Detroit. Not right now. I should start building something. I'm getting a phone call. I should start building something. I had to stretch, sorry. What do you have? I have emeralds now. What do you have? Nothing cool. Yeah. I'm much better at this when I have like a sort of script to follow. I did not plan ahead. I just said, we're going to play Minecraft and we're going to talk about villains and antagonists. And that was it. That was my plan. Where should I build? Turtles! Hello, turtles. What's over there? I saw something weird. Oh, a shipwreck. I didn't mean to fall down here. Oops. Where's the chest? Is there not a chest in this one? That's okay. That's okay. I'm not claiming to be, like, good at Minecraft, I want to be clear. Because I'm not good at Minecraft. But, yeah. I just like to play and have fun. I think I'll build here. Oh, my inventory is full. Okay, well, let's get started, I guess. Just build, I could build a little beach house. Ooh, lava pit. Yeah, I'm gonna build a little beach house. you know what? That was really it. That was really all I wanted to talk about right now. I could come back and do more of this world and talk about something else. I can do my Let's Talk Fiction series through Minecraft. So we'll do that. I think that'll be fun. So anyway, thank you for joining me for this ramble on about villains and antagonists. If you want to see more, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to do more. I love analyzing stories. I think it's interesting. So I'll see you guys next time. Alright, bye-bye.